Hello, Dolphins fans. The Miami Dolphins just got some fantastic news that could have a big impact on their offensive performance going forward. I'll tell you everything we learned in a moment, but first make sure you hit the like button if you've been a Miami Dolphins fan for over 17 years. There are people here who have been fans since the 70s. It's great to see fans of all ages. Now, let's get to the point. While the 2025 draft is on hold, the Dolphins are looking to resolve some internal issues. First, let's talk about the coaching staff. There were some real concerns about the future of Miami's passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Darrell Bevell. He's been a crucial part of this coaching staff since joining in 2022, helping develop Tua Tagovailoa and transform Miami's offense into one of the most dangerous in the NFL. But in recent weeks, there has been speculation that Bevell could be on the move, potentially taking the offensive coordinator job with the Las Vegas Raiders. This was a real possibility because Bevell had worked with Pete Carroll before, and with Carroll now in a leadership role in Vegas, a reunion seemed to make sense. But then, out of nowhere, the Raiders went in a completely different direction, hiring Chip Kelly. This is huge for Miami because it means Bevell is now set to stay with the Dolphins for another season. Why is this so important? Well, continuity matters in the NFL, especially when you have an offense that has been consistently improving. Under Bevell's guidance, Miami has had a top-half passing attack each of the past 3 seasons, ranking second in the league in 2022. Even in 2024, when Tua missed 6 games and Miami had to rely on backups like Skylar Thompson and Tyler Huntley, they still managed to finish 16th in passing yards per game. This is a testament to the system that Bevell, Frank Smith, and Mike McDaniel have built together. Keeping Bevell in Miami ensures that this system remains intact for at least another season, which is crucial for Tua's continued growth and the overall success of the offense. The last thing this team needed was a shakeup in the coaching staff just when things were starting to click. But while the coaching staff seems to be staying put, there could be a big change coming at the backup quarterback position. According to a report from Adam Schefter, the Dolphins are one of the teams showing early interest in veteran quarterback Marcus Mariota. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Mariota, a former second overall pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, has had a roller coaster career. He showed flashes of brilliance early on with the Tennessee Titans, but eventually lost his starting job and has bounced around the league since then. Most recently, he spent time in Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Washington, where he served as a backup. So why would the Dolphins be interested in him? Well, for one, Miami has a serious need at the backup quarterback position. Tua has made major strides in staying healthy, playing all 17 games in 2023, but in the 2 years prior, he missed 10 games combined. And when he was out, the backups simply weren't good enough. The combination of Skylar Thompson, Tyler Huntley, and Tim Boyle didn't inspire much confidence, and Miami doesn't want to be in a situation where their season is derailed by an injury to Tua. Mariota would bring experience, mobility, and familiarity with Tua, which could make him an ideal fit. Both quarterbacks share a Polynesian background, and they have a strong personal relationship. Having a backup who gets along with the starter and can help mentor younger players is always a plus. Financially, Mariota could also be an attractive option. He played last season in Washington on a 1-year, $6 million deal, and Miami might be able to sign him for something similar or even slightly less due to Florida's lack of state income tax. A 1-year, $5 million contract could get the deal done, giving Miami a proven backup at a reasonable price. Of course, Mariota isn't the only option. The Dolphins have been linked to other veteran quarterbacks, including Andy Dalton. Dalton was actually on Miami's radar last season, as they inquired about trading for him when Tua was dealing with concussion issues. The Panthers ended up keeping Dalton, but now that he's a free agent, Miami could revisit that option. Dalton might actually be the better choice between the two. He has more experience, a stronger track record as a starter, and has shown he can still win games when called upon. If Miami wants a more traditional pocket passer with veteran leadership, Dalton might be the way to go. Ultimately, it will come down to what the Dolphins prioritize in their backup quarterback. If they want someone with mobility who can extend plays, Mariota makes sense. If they prefer a steady veteran presence, Dalton might be the guy. Either way, it's clear that Miami is looking to upgrade the backup quarterback position this offseason. But what do you think, Dolphins fans? Would you rather see Marcus Mariota or Andy Dalton in a Dolphins uniform next season? Or is there another backup quarterback out there that you'd prefer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Beyond Mariota and Dalton, there are several other veteran quarterbacks the Dolphins could consider, and some of these names might be just as intriguing, if not more. Players like Jacoby Brissett, Carson Wentz, and Drew Lock are all free agent options who could fit Miami's needs. Brissett is a name Dolphins fans should be very familiar with, as he spent the 2021 season in Miami. While he wasn't spectacular, he has proven to be a capable backup who can step in and run an offense efficiently. In Cleveland, he played well in Deshaun Watson's absence, showing he can manage a game and make smart decisions. Carson Wentz is a bit more of a wild card. At his peak, he was an MVP candidate with the Philadelphia Eagles, but inconsistency and injuries have derailed his career. However, if he's willing to take on a backup role, he could offer Miami a strong arm and starting experience. The concern with Wentz, of course, is whether his presence in the locker room would be a positive or a distraction. Then there's Drew Lock, a younger option who still has some untapped potential. He played well in limited action for Seattle last season and could be a long-term backup or even a potential bridge starter down the road if Tua were to miss extended time. Miami also has the option of addressing the backup quarterback position in the draft. While they're unlikely to spend a high pick on a QB, they could target someone in the later rounds to develop behind Tua. There are several intriguing prospects, including Spencer Rattler, Michael Penix Jr., and Bo Nix, who could fall into the mid to late rounds. The ideal scenario for Miami might be signing a veteran like Mariota or Dalton and then drafting a young quarterback on day 3. That way, they'd have an experienced backup for 2024 while also developing a potential long-term option behind Tua. Given Tua's injury history, this could be a smart way to ensure Miami always has a reliable plan B. The front office, led by Chris Grier, has already indicated that they will be aggressive in upgrading the QB2 spot this offseason. Both Grier and head coach Mike McDaniel have made it clear that no stone will be left unturned when it comes to evaluating quarterback options. That tells us they understand how critical this position is, especially for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. It's also worth noting that Miami's decision at backup quarterback could have implications for Tua's long-term future. Tua is entering the final year of his rookie contract, and while Miami could pick up his 5th-year option or work out a long-term deal, they also need to be prepared for all possibilities. If Tua struggles with injuries again in 2024, having a solid backup could be the difference between making the playoffs and missing out. That's why this decision is so important. In recent years, teams like the San Francisco 49ers and Philadelphia Eagles have shown how valuable a good backup quarterback can be. Miami doesn't want to find itself in a situation where one injury derails an otherwise promising season. As for the draft, this is where things get really interesting. If Miami is thinking long-term, selecting a developmental quarterback in the later rounds makes a ton of sense. Not only would it give them a potential future backup, but it could also provide insurance in case Tua's injury issues resurface. Names to watch in the later rounds include Michael Penix Jr., who has a strong arm and good mobility but has dealt with injuries throughout his college career. Bo Nix is another possibility. He played in a system at Oregon that emphasized quick reads and short passes, which could translate well to McDaniel's offense. Ultimately, the Dolphins have several different paths they can take at the quarterback position, and each one comes with its own risks and rewards. Signing a veteran like Dalton or Mariota would provide immediate stability, while drafting a young quarterback would give Miami a long-term option to develop. The best-case scenario? Do both. But this brings us back to the big question. What do you think Miami should do? Should they prioritize experience and go after a veteran like Dalton, Mariota, or Brissett? Or should they take a chance on a younger quarterback in the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Go Dolphins! Fins up!